Well, hello and good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you happen to be in the world. I'm David Bowles, and this is Bowles.tv. B-O-L-E-S, period, T-V, live streaming. We also have video on demand at Bowles.live, and we are here live so far the last 4 months, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. And oh my gosh, there's so much to talk about today. It's hard to know almost where to begin. It feels like the world is crumbling around us. And we're going to talk a little bit about Ukraine from several different aspects, from crypto, from art, politicalization, to support of the people. And it's all kind of coming together like this. Based on what we've been talking about the last 2 weeks about NFT and politics and art and crypto, and it all comes together in the shape of Ukraine. And it's definitely disappointing because Ukraine is being taken over by Russia. And it appears that nobody is going to help Ukraine. And if they want to help, they want to do it behind the scenes so they can't get blamed by China or Russia for helping Ukraine. And it makes you feel terrible for Ukraine. They're being taken over by a hostile country, by a tyrant dictator named Vladimir Putin. Now, what I don't understand is why Putin can make all these claims about nuclear war. Oh, it's going to get messy. I'm going to come after them. I'm going to leave Ukraine uninhabitable. Right? Well, what do you do about that? You just sit back and say, okay, go nuclear bomb Ukraine. Or do you just appease him and say, oh no, please don't bomb Ukraine. We'll give you whatever you want. We'll stay out of your way as you go in there and take over. It's just shocking to me. And I think you need to call him on it. Okay, you want to go put nuclear bombs in Ukraine that you're trying to claim as your own sovereign land? Okay, poison your people. And if you try to do that, then we will make the rest of Russia unlivable. Because we also have nukes. And it needs to be the rest of the world who says that to them. And if China gets involved, and it's China and Russia against the world, then let it be. Because you cannot live under authoritarian threat. It's unsustainable. Because they'll just make a threat and the world will collapse and back down. I consider myself sort of liberal and sort of progressive and in some ways sort of conservative. Liberal mindset, conservative morality is the motto of David Bowles blogs. But I remember the Cuban Missile Crisis, and many people don't. I don't have a direct memory of it, but I know my history. I know what Khrushchev said. I know what Kennedy said and did. And Kennedy did not back down, and he stood up to Khrushchev, and Khrushchev said in his famous speech, "We will outlive you," as he pounded his shoe on the podium, which was translated wrongly by people who had a political interest into, "We will bury you." That's not what he said. He said, "We will outlive you." So Khrushchev said about Bay of Pigs and why he backed away and backed down. He said, well, and this is the Russian philosophy. This is Putin. He said, well, you have your bayonet and you push it into the fat and you do not stop until you reach steel. And once you've gone far enough and you hit steel, then you back out. And it's done. And JFK was steel. And the Russians backed down. And Putin has had his way with the world. He's invaded all these other countries, taken them over, and no one says one word. I don't know why the United States didn't stand with Ukraine from the very beginning. I don't understand it. Oh, we will behind the scenes. We'll give them money. Well, they don't need money. They need people on the ground. They need people to help them repel the Russians. It's a little disappointing. So we'll talk a little bit more about Ukraine on a couple of other topics. But what I've been doing the past day is getting ready for our hopeful arrival of our Dell monitor that's supposed to come tomorrow or the next day. We already have the desktop part, and then our stream is supposed to get better and less glitchy, and our live video will play better. In anticipation of that, my little Windows laptop that I got to go along with the big Dell desktop arrived a day early yesterday. So yesterday I was spent all day trying to figure out how to get things to work on it. With the equal from Apple world to Windows world, what the similar apps are like. And it's a process. I'm going to need help on that a little bit later, so if you're on Twitter and you know the answers, let me know. So 27 years ago, I did the math yesterday. Not in my head, I used a calculator. I turned from Windows, which I'd been very deeply involved in since Windows began, and moved over to Apple and the Apple ecosystem with the iMac and the MacBook Pro and the MacBook. Oh, there's Dora. Good morning, Dora. And the Apple Watch and the iPhone and the blah, 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 blah. And then as I got into streaming 4 months ago, I did my research and figured out that Apple OS is not meant for streaming. It just doesn't work. That was a blow. Now, there are Mac OS apps that you can use to stream, but you get glitching and you get choppy video, and there's nothing that can be done about it. It's just the way the OS is built, and no one really knows why it was built that way. So if you want to have a nice stream that's non-glitchy and has good video, well, Davey, you got to move to Windows. So after 27 years, I'm slowly making my way back into the Windows world. And to prove my point, if I can find this, the last thing I did in Windows was, way back when, Windows 95 was my book. Windows 95 Secrets. So I knew everything about Windows. 27 years. And then here are some other books I wrote about Macs, Mac Leopard, Microsoft Office for Mac, Google Apps Administrator Guide, and then I stopped writing books, technological books, because there became no money in it. What do you mean? Well, back then, 20 years ago, when the book industry was a book industry and there weren't really electronic books or internet, you could get money up front from publishers. $20,000, $40,000, and that was your guarantee for your book. And then future royalties came out of that, and if you had a big successful book, then you got a little bit more money, but at least you were guaranteed some form of payment. Well, over the last 15 years or so, the whole industry has changed, where there's really, unless you're a very successful technical book author, like one of the 2 or 3 big names who write all the dummies books, you're not getting upfront money. You're not getting guaranteed money anymore. These publishers now want you just to work for hire, where you write the book, and then they publish it, and then if there's any money, after they recoup all their costs, you'll get paid a little bit. And they sell this to you like, oh, well, you have a book, and you'll have your name out there. And the old established giants like John Warham and John Dvorak and smaller people like me kind of said, what is that? Why would I write for you for free and let you publish my book for free? That has pushed a lot of authors to self-publish. If I'm going to write for free, I'm going to own my book outright. Distribution is very strong on Amazon and Google and everywhere else, Apple Books. Why do I need a major publisher if I have a well-established enough name? And it used to be 20 years ago, if you were self-publishing, it was a vanity press. Oh, you can't get a real publisher to publish your work. Well, that's not so true anymore. It doesn't matter. So I've been going back into the Windows world and doing a little bit of research, and boy, people are complaining. They like sort of Windows 10. Remember, I'm coming from Windows 95. They sort of like Windows 10. Windows 11, which was released in November, they don't like so much. Oh, it's glitchy. It looks like Apple. It's very graphic, feels like a Mac. So I was setting up the Dell yesterday, getting everything upgraded. It came with Windows 10, which looked sort of familiar to me. And then it said, you want to install Windows 11? It's free. And I'm thinking, hey, if it's more like Mac, I might understand how it works. Yes, put it in. So they downloaded, upgraded. It's great. And why did I get a Dell? There are other companies, Acer, Lenovo, ThinkPad. Well, my wife has a Dell laptop that she uses from work. And I have to say, it's a tank. You can drop it, you can play Frisbee with it. It never breaks. And it's relatively fast for a work computer, for a state-owned work computer. So you can imagine these are not tiny and they're not very new. But they work, and it's refreshing. So I'll show you. This is what it looks like. Little tiny thing. Now, I have a big Toshiba 15-inch laptop. Or maybe it's a 17. I can't remember. Big. So I knew with this I wanted something smallish that was easier just to carry around. And the larger 15, 17-inch Dell laptops were about 6 pounds. With lots of slots. This has 2 USB-C slots on the side, which is not a lot, but that's okay. I wanted something very tiny that could sit on my lap, and I can walk around the house with it and go to a different floor, go to the lounge and work. And it's very nice. It's XPS, I guess is what they call it. My fingerprints, my sweaty fingerprints all over the thing. XPS. Silver on the outside, black on the inside. Now, if I had gone with a white inside, I would have been able to get a 2 terabyte SSD. Disk, storage, whatever. But because I wanted the black, they limited me to 1 terabyte. I don't know why. It looks like they build them from scratch, so I don't know what the problem was. It must be a room thing. But that's okay, because this is not going to be my main machine. This is going to be the machine that I play along with me. And this is our live stream that we're watching right now, if you can believe that. We're in an ad roll, as you can see. So that's what happens. And I've been setting it up and working with it, playing with it. It's stayed cool. It's very fast. It's very tiny. I like it. I recommend. And it took about, they said it would take about a month, because everything's behind. There are no CPUs, I guess, in the world. Cars are not being made because there are no CPUs. My monitor has been delayed for a month because there's no CPU. This was delayed for 3 weeks. And now everything's suddenly arriving at the same time. Now, if you ever buy anything electronic, I'll tell you right now, what I'm doing is you burn in your machine. It doesn't matter if it's a light, if it's a television, if it's a laptop, it's a new iPhone, an Android phone, anything that has electronics inside of it. Oh, there's Dora. She has a Lenovo and I like it. I think Windows wants me to download Windows 11. Yeah, I've heard wonderful things about Lenovo, and they said the tip-top thing to get if you want small, fast, and expensive. This was very inexpensive to me. It was $500 off, and to me it's a third of the price of a similar Apple MacBook Pro. And that's just what I want, a little thing I can carry around if I gotta leave the apartment for something. So there's the new ThinkPad that's carbon fiber something. It sounds wonderful. I would love to have one. Maybe I should check that out too. So if you buy something new, and yes, Dora, you should download Windows 11. I think you would appreciate it. Things look a little different, but it runs better. It looks better, at least to me. Do it at your own risk. And you have to burn in your electronic equipment. What does that mean? That means you have to turn it on. And if you have a little laptop, that means you got to turn it on and leave it on. You don't let the hard disk or SSD, whatever, go off. You don't let the monitor go off. You leave it running on battery power or plugged in for 48 hours. Oh, it's a waste of electricity. But what you're doing is burning in all the electronics. Because if it's going to fail, it's going to fail during the burn-in period. And you want it failing within the first 2 days and not the first 2 weeks or 2 months. You want to know right away if you got a bummer. And then you take care of it and you're not bonded with it. You really haven't set anything up. It's just been on running. So mine has been on since yesterday around noon. And all night it just streamed YouTube concerts. Man, it was great. Never turned off. Didn't really get hot. I plug it in, charge it up, doesn't get hot. The batteries last forever. How much battery do I have left? I'm running it out. I'm running the battery down. 20, I can't see that far. 30% remaining. And it's been on since 5 a.m. Full blast. Full sound. Well, not now. Full sound. Brightest setting for the keyboard. Brightest setting for the screen. That's impressive. My MacBook Pros do not last that long on a battery. So it feels strange and it feels welcoming to be back into the Windows world. And I'm thinking, am I going to lose forever my connection with my Apple? I don't know. Right now, I am laptop Windows and soon desktop Windows, and my Apple Watch and my iPhone are the only Apple things I have left. Yes, burned it in. Even if your TV, you turn on your TV, you put on HBO, and you let it go for 48 hours, 2 days. Even when you're sleeping, it's on. Don't turn it on and off. And there are some people who say that because of electronics, if you have something like this, just leave it on forever. Never let it go to sleep, because you get problems when it gets hot, and all electronics get hot. And then you turn it off or put it to sleep, and then it cools down, right? And then you turn it on, it gets hot. And then it gets cool. And then for 2 or 3 years, and that's how things start getting cracks and thermal paste starts to wear out. So if you just always leave it on, then it never goes like this. Right? It just always stays hot. I don't really subscribe to that. So I do put my computers in suspended animation, or whatever they call it, for a few hours when I decide to go to bed. But otherwise, it's up all day. Up and running. So 27 years of Windows. I'm impressed with how it looks. It's much, much better than Windows 95. And there's still some ugliness in Windows 11. Not in itself, but like in the file finder, and then WinSCP is the FTP program. You look at it and said, oh my gosh, it's so ugly. It just doesn't fit. Apple would never have something that ugly. So I don't know if this stuff's going to get upgraded or updated, or if that's just the way it is. And you do have to worry about viruses. So for many years, I didn't really have to worry too much about Apple viruses. Now they're starting to get more popular because there are more installs. So I went with Malwarebytes on my Apple machines. And because Dell was having a big sale, I went with McAfee on my Windows machine. And you can use Windows Defender because that comes for free. But it was a deal, so I turned on all the McAfee stuff and everything's fine. I see complaints online. Oh, it slows down my machine. It's fine. Go back to Windows 95 if you want to know what hell it's like with your computer. Oh my gosh, we have so much more to talk about. But I think right now is a good time, in the middle of this rant and rave and praise, to take a very brief blood pressure break. We will be back momentarily. are back from break. I'm David Bowles. This is Bowles TV, BOLES.TV, live Monday through Friday, right here at 9 a.m. Eastern. So on the break, Dora asked a couple of questions, which are very good. Do you think Windows Defender is enough? I had Norton, but was having problems installing the license. From everything that I've been able to research, people now say that as of right now, Windows Defender is just as good as anything else that you would purchase. It protects your firewall. It protects your computer from viruses. And then Dora also said, I will try installing Norton again. It's a group subscription. I would do that. Because these paid protectors have a lot more features than Windows Defender. And if you have a newer machine and it's not old and slow, then I think these for-pay solutions are just fine. But if you don't have any money, Windows Defender should be good enough. Now, I was reading something online last night, trying to fall asleep, that there's some kind of weird Dell bug going on, where people are getting virus alerts that there has been a Bitcoin intrusion. And some people are saying it's not real. Some people are saying it's the Dell support app that has been compromised. I've not seen anything yet. Other people are saying, no, Microsoft has researched this. They said it's very real. Other people say, well, if you just uninstall Dell Assistant, then those warnings disappear. And people are saying, where is this coming from? And people are saying, well, Dell announced yesterday that they're not going to sell any Dell computers to Russia anymore. So this is some kind of revenge to steal your Bitcoin. I don't know exactly how that would work, but... So I say to Dora, yes, install Norton. Do not allow it to crypto mine. But if you have a group install, it sounds like maybe you're getting it from work, which is good, because I don't think that they would allow that option on your computer. But Norton is very good. Kaspersky is another very good one, but it's Russian. And the last few weeks, people have been uninstalling on purpose Kaspersky. And some people are very disappointed because they say it's very good. And it just happens to be made in Russia. But what access are you giving Russia to your computer? So people get scared. So McAfee's okay. Norton's good. Windows Defender is just fine. I don't think that was true a year ago. I think Windows Defender was deficient, but Microsoft has now hardened it. And as part of their Azure server system, they're going to add Windows Defender to that as well. So it's becoming a big feature and an important feature to them, which it should have been from the very beginning. And it hasn't been. So this just, you're getting ready to do the show and things just pop up and you just look at them and you think, my goodness, this is dangerous. So before we go on to talk about Ukraine a little bit, we're going to talk about this man, if you can call him that, Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, in my opinion, a horrible person, wants to be president, has to deal with Donald Trump. Now, as I'm looking at the field of who's going to be the GOP nominee, I'm very worried because DeSantis is not a nice person. He is a cruel man. Tom Cotton is not a nice person. He is a cruel man. Josh Hawley is not a nice person. He is a cruel man. And of all the top guys, the one who kind of is not cruel and who's very smart and very savvy and I think totally American in the ways of freedom and comedy is Chris Christie, who used to be the governor of New Jersey. And when he was governor of New Jersey, he was very tough and not very well liked. But in retrospect, after the Trump years, you think, Chris Christie was not that bad. But can Chris Christie run against these cruel Republicans who have the hearts and minds of the MAGA base? Dora says, good to know I have some protecting. I only use it for work. Maybe when I retire, I'll use it more. Yeah, you should always, especially on Windows, you must have some kind of virus protection on your Windows machine because it's very, very vulnerable. And what I like about McAfee is is that they have, or maybe it's Windows, that they have some kind of malware protection mode. Windows are open if you hear the sirens. And that you can recover your OneDrive information, which I use a lot since I only have a 1 terabyte instead of 2. It protects you from malware ransom. So that's another reason to try to upgrade. So here is Ron DeSantis being himself in front of high school children and insulting them and being a big fat bully and a cruel man. Do you want this kind of personality ruling a nation? And it's very clear that Ron DeSantis is more savvy and smarter than Donald Trump. But he believes in what Donald Trump believes in. So that, to me, is very dangerous. Here, see for yourself.
You do not have to wear those masks. I mean, please take them off. Honestly, it's not doing anything, and we got to stop with this COVID theater. So if you want to wear it, fine, but this is ridiculous.
All right, well, it's good to be at USF.
A petulant child for a gun.
You do not have to wear those masks. I mean, please take them off. Honestly, it's not doing anything, and we got to stop with this COVID theater. So if you want to wear it, fine, but this is ridiculous.
All right, well, it's good to be at USF.
It's just gross. That guy wants to be president of the United States. Dora saw that video online. Yeah, it's everywhere, and I'm glad. I'm glad it's being propagated. Show the real man. Show who he is. Let us know what's going on so we can make an informed decision. Unfortunately, there are too many people in the world who love that kind of thing, who love yelling at high school students and telling them to shape up and take off your mask. I thought he's all about freedom of choice. Don't tell me what to do. Well, you're just yelling at high school students because they want to wear a mask. And you're telling them to take it off. And you're about choice? It's grotesque and cruel. Now, speaking about something that is uncruel and rather beautiful, in my opinion, but what do I know? I'm old and dumb. Hey, look at this! Oh my gosh, it's our friend Dora! And her beautiful artwork, painting, artwork. And this is an interesting process that she shared with me yesterday on Twitter. And I guess this is Nefertiti, sort of a tried NFT, maybe a little jokey, I don't know. But I think it's wonderful. And very Ukrainian, if you know what I mean. And if you don't know what I mean, you'll see in a minute because I'll share something else with you soon. Blue and gold. That's the colors of the Ukraine flag. And there it is right there. There's a little bit of green in there, but that could be fixed. Now, here's what the best part that Dora shared is the honesty of it all in the process. After it dried, it seems like it healed to this. So it looks very textured. It looks 3D in the original. And then it dried and something happened. We don't know what happened. Dora doesn't know what happened. I don't know what happened. But something happened. So she thinks she's going to go back and try to fix this maybe. Or do it again. But wow. I showed this to Jan last night when she came home and she was dead tired and couldn't open her eyes. And she looked at this and her eyes were wide open. Wow. That's fantastic. So that might be a future NFT from the lovely Dora. You just don't know. But you can always hope. And speaking of NFTs, one of our friends here on Bulls.tv is Ishita Banerjee, who is also known as, a.k.a. Soul Curry Arts. And these are her friends who have created an Enchanted Valley of NFTs. Now, that seems to be the new thing. You're creating communities based on your NFT art. We had the Pizza People with Tom Colicchio yesterday and Spike Mendelsohn. We have the Bored Ape Yacht Club who created their own gang. The Tokyo Punks from Sabet. Oh, there's Dora. Oh, thank you. Glad you like it. Yeah, they're beautiful colors. And if you can get the blue and gold, I'm telling you, Dora, you can make big stuff with that. Because now is the time for blue and gold, if you know what I mean. And these are, I guess, a new community called the Enchanteds. And it appears that the avatars you're seeing flashing before your eyes are the avatars that they're going to use for the Enchanted Valley. So it's this whole thing, right? Okay. So there are 1,500 traits across 5 drops, means 5 opportunities, I guess, to buy these at 2,200 NFTs each. So, and we keep going, and here's another little thing. So I guess the idea is if you're into this kind of fantasy and community, then you would want to have this kind of art, this NFT in your collection. And the big thing, I guess, is this, which is now sold out. Well, yeah, sold out initially. This is the artifact, which I guess is some kind of rotating NFT object that gives you power or something, or I don't know what it is. But Dora says she loves these. And I do like this art. It looks like a mandala of some sort. I don't know if it's a healing power like Sabet's trying with his healing codes. I don't know what it is. But at least it moves. And then you go to OpenSea and think, oh my god, well, look here. The Enchanted Artifact. There are 422 of them. 262 owners with a floor price of .3. And here they are. Now see, this is the new thing to do. They used to have one of these, right? And you would buy it. Here, let me click on it. And it would say 1 of 462. But now they try to be really clever. And instead of saying 1 of 462, they'll put up 462 copies of this. Say this is number 78. So you're 1 of 1. I think it's very sneaky. I don't like it. But I guess it gives a sense of ownership, so that this appears in your wallet and you click on it. You're the sole owner of this particular copy. It's just a little ridiculous to me. So this is, I guess, what you would own. It doesn't look animated to me, which is surprising, because the animated is much better. And how much is this going to cost you? $880. And there are over 400 of them. Okay. Now we talk about our friend Sabat. And we like Sabat, but he had a couple of miscues over the weekend. And there is no doubt that it is affecting his mint of his healing codes. Now, initially this mint was going to be 3,000. Then he said there was so much excitement for his healing codes that he upped it to 4,850. And they were released on Monday, so it's been Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and the hottest action would have been on Monday with the insider sale at a low price, but he's kept the price the same, so that already ticks off people. And he has 895 minted so far, which is a complete and total disaster. How much again? For this, for 1 of 425, you play .3 Ethereum, which is, in USD right there, $880.25. Plus gas! Ethereum is currently $28.91. It's going slightly down. Now is the time to buy. Gas prices? Right now, for OpenSea, $17. Very, very, very good. That's affordable. Monday was 80 bucks. So yes, the Enchanted Valley is $880 US. And .3 is a little high for an introductory price. But this is not the introductory price. This is the secondary market. The introductory price, as you can see here, whammo, is sold out. You can't have it. But it's sold out here on this website, but not on OpenSea, not on the secondary market. So people buy it and they turn around and try to resell it. It's just gross. I don't like it. But that's how much it's going for. So Sabet's healing codes are not going well, and here's the problem. Each of these healing codes has a special significance of healing, of love, of one of 50, one of 100, and then chakras, and it affects your chakra this way and that way. And Sabet has mysteriously said, but not lately, that once all of them are sold, update the metadata for the one you have in your possession, and you can now buy 5 at a time, or before on Monday you could only buy 1, and it will reveal the unique values of your specific works of art. The problem is he's only sold 895, so that means he has 4,000 more sales to go before it will be revealed of what people actually bought. Now that makes people upset. People are saying, "What? I bought this. I don't know what the significance is of it yet because I'm waiting for 4,000 other people to turn around and buy it." And they're not buying it. So my feeling is maybe in a week or 2 or 3 that Sabet is going to have to make a decision. And does he burn the unsold healing codes? I think he's going to have to, unless he has some big super sale. But if you have a big super sale, you're going to really tick off the people who bought the floor price at 0.0888 on Monday. That's a problem. But it's the right thing to do. So he should cap it at 1,000, burn the rest, reveal what everybody bought, and then the price will go up. But see, I think he wants this to be more than that. He wants to be a healer. He wants to be the love provider to his people. And people are maybe say they're into that, but I think they just said, let me buy the art and leave me alone. I don't need the healing, I just want the prettiness. But the way this is set up, you can't even pick your own art. When it's minted, you just get a random one sent to you. And if you want one that you want, then you have to go online and find it in the secondary market and probably pay a markup price. Now, I feel like I'm picking on Sabet, but I'm not. Because this is Sabet's newest piece. And this is on his website. So you buy this on the Sabet website. I'll put the link in chat in case you want to check it out. Okay, so this is Sabet's newest work. Whoops. Oh boy, I just blew something up here. Okay, I clicked on the wrong thing and it just made everything disappear. So this is Sabet's newest work, and it is to support the Ukrainian people. Oh, now what have I done? Close. Okay, close. Okay, there we go. To support the Ukrainian people. Now, and this is what it's called. Freedom Flowers, 2022 Shabbat. My heart goes out to the people of Ukraine. As an Iranian American, born and raised in a war, I can relate deeply to the pain and suffering that is happening in Ukraine. May love and peace prevail. Shabbat. You can buy this for 0.08 Ethereum, which is currently $233. For a Sabet, it's a bargain. Freedom Flowers 2022 Sabet is an open edition selling for 0.08 with no gas fees. That means he pays the gas fee, which is fabulous. 100% of profits will be sent to a reputable nonprofit organization providing relief to the people of Ukraine. Further details on this release will be made available in the Sabet Discord. Okay, so full disclosure, I purchased this. I was buyer number 6, I believe, this morning. Because I like the idea. I'm happy to exchange art for money in support of Ukraine. And this is on sale for the next 32 days. So it's not an impulse purchase. It's something that's going to be out there for a while, which is fine with me. But here's the issue I have with this. And I'm not saying this to be pernicious. People tend to want to use NFT art online as either a background banner or as their profile picture. Now, this is the Sabet woman that we always see, that he always draws, with the big lips and the rosy cheeks and the flowing hair and the gigantic, beautiful eyes. I'm not really into that look very much. I'm into his more gritty look and his ugly kitties look and Tokyo punks, but he has a lot of the women. These women. I don't know semiotically what he is saying with this blue and white flowers over his beautiful woman's eyes. Is it a headdress? Is it a... I don't think it is, because it doesn't wrap around her head. Is it censorship? Is Ukraine the flowers and Russia the woman? Why is she blindfolded? Or why is she being blinded by the flowers? Now, that's not stopping me from buying it and supporting Sabet and supporting Ukraine. I'm just saying, as a amateur art collector, I don't understand what's going on in the picture. I don't get it. The red hair, the red cheeks. I'm trying to think all the Sabet things I know about him. What does it all mean? And I don't know. And even on Twitter, where they give you kind of a bigger octagonal, octagon profile picture, it doesn't look great as a profile picture because you don't know what it is. You're thinking, why do I see half this woman's face and the other half are flowers? It doesn't make sense. So knowing that, oh, here's my collection. Now, this is my collection on the Sabet website, which I thought meant that this is the only place I could see it and play with it. But it's not. It's open, also in my OpenSea account, which I finally realized is because what's connecting all these different places is my Ethereum wallet. So these websites read my wallet and display what I have in my wallet, which makes me very happy because now I don't have to worry about finding my artwork because it's just there. So this is, I click on this, this is mine, it is owned by me, transferred by Sabet to me, so this is my contract, so this is my proof of ownership. And I want to celebrate this, so this is what I did. You can see my profile is my ugly kitty from Sabet, and because it doesn't really fit or make sense as a background with the woman's half face in it, I just chose to use the flowers. The blue and yellow flowers, which I think is very beautiful. I don't think that was Sabet's idea, but that's how I'm using it. And for people who know and people who are interested, they can look at that and say, oh, I know what that means. That means Ukraine. And as you can see, I also did it on my Facebook page. Same thing. Blue, yellow, flowers, done. Now, if you're really into this kind of thing, and you want to make a direct contribution, here's what's going on. This is the official Ukraine Twitter account. I'll put the link in chat. And they're sort of saying, hey, you don't have to go through a third person like Sabet. You can donate crypto, Ethereum, Bitcoin, USDT directly to Ukraine. Stand with the people of Ukraine. Now accepting cryptocurrency donations. And here are the addresses. This is the address. That's the Bitcoin address. This is the Ethereum address. And this is why having an Ethereum name associated, BOLES.eth, replaces all of these numbers in my wallet. So that's a way to give directly to Ukraine without having to go through a third party. People of Ukraine are grateful for the support and donations from the global crypto community as we protect our freedom. We are now accepting Polkadot donations too. Excuse me, I don't know what Polkadot is. But it must be something people want to use because they're now offering it. No airdrop has been confirmed yet. Airdrop confirmed. Snapshot will be taken tomorrow, March 3rd, 6 p.m. Reward to follow. Ukraine's crypto donation. I don't know what that means. An airdrop is usually something free. Maybe they're dropping a crypto. An NFT. I don't really know. Because I just found this moments before we went on the air today. But I'm very interested in it. So this is all about cryptocurrency. Now, why I love this from Dennis Porter. Look at all that Bitcoin being used to evade law enforcement. We should ban it because that's what a lot of governments say, especially the United States. And the point is this is US dollars. It's not Bitcoin. And this is all recovered from thieves and from bad actors. But Bitcoin is the bad guy in the whole thing, right? Well, it's that time of day where we're going to take another very brief blood pressure break. We are going to be back momentarily to continue our conversation of the day. Russia-Ukraine censorship. We're just getting started. Back in a moment. And we are back from break. I'm David Bowles, and this is Bowles.tv. BOLES.TV. Monday through Friday, every day, 9 a.m. Over 250 hours streamed so far, over 4 months. And we're just getting started. So if you remember, we have another friend named Alexei Guzzi, who writes about sleep and sleep disorders and has a research project. He's Russian, doesn't claim to be highly educated in the PhD sort of way, and he's very proud of that. That doesn't mean he cannot be an intellectual, and it doesn't mean he can't do his own research, because he does, and he proves his point every day. So this morning you wake up and there's an email to those who follow Alexei, and this is what he has to say about what's going on in Russia and Ukraine. And it's just fascinating because it's an inside look from the inside. And Alexei is in the United States right now, I believe. But his friends and family are still in Russia. So, this is what he said. Kamil Galeev was the first source about what's going on in Russia 2 days ago, confirmed by 3 more private sources since then. And this is what Kamil has to say. And it's all in Russian. I'm thinking, Alexei, you know he did that for purpose. But since it's Gmail, you can click on translate. And this is Alexei's email translated. So we don't know how reliable this is, but we're going to take a look at it because it's still really super duper fascinating. So this is what's going on. For the Russians, not Ukrainians, the Russians, the exit will be blocked very soon, meaning you're not going to be able to leave the country. As a Russian! First for men, some military age, then everyone, Because if you're a man and you're military age, you know you're going to Ukraine. So this is insider tips on what to do, how to survive if you're in Russia. Consider going straight to any open country, except, of course, Belarus, because Putin owns that. A puppet runs Belarus, a Putin puppet. Not Trump. That was before. Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Mongolia, the list goes on. Now, there is still such an opportunity, but it will be blocked quickly and without warning. Now this is, can you imagine you're living in Russia and this is the information you're getting? You have to pick up all your stuff if you want to live and survive and not die in this nuclear threatened war with Ukraine. And you leave your house behind? And you see people going into Poland with their pets? And how could you do that? How could you leave your pet behind? You would have to take your pet with you. And luckily, so far, the pets are being included in the race for freedom. If you want to consider it your duty to stay in the Russian Federation, that is your choice. But if you do not want to live in this, you need to get out immediately. It's better today. Continuing, the position of the Russian Federation is much worse than in the Cold War. Complete hell can come suddenly and without warning. As for the economic collapse, it is guaranteed. And I read in the news today that the ruble is now worth a penny. They've crashed their own economy. I can bet on this quite confidently because the sanctions steamroller has already been set off. Now, I've read some of that too, and we'll talk a little bit about the SWIFT network of banking. And the news today said that there are 300 banks in Russia, but only 3 of them have been cut off from the SWIFT system. And the Ukrainians are saying, why? Why not every single bank in Russia? Why only 3? If you're going to cut them off, cut them all off. Excuse me. Western state apparatuses are more mechanistic and therefore more subject to institutional inertia than the Russian one. It is difficult to move them from their place, but once moved, they go, 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 and so on for a very long time, because it is difficult not only to start them, but also to stop them. There is no one person who could give such an order. So that's very confusing. Part of this is translation. So what he's saying is they're going to smash the banking system, the rest of the free world, to punish Russia, which means it's going to punish you as an ordinary Russian citizen. And if you're getting out, you got to get your money out right away, because while they're slow to get it going, once the momentum is there, you cannot stop them immediately. And it's going to take a long, long, long time to recover the money you have in the bank. Number 2, if you want to leave, leave immediately. The sooner the better, to any open country except Belarus. It makes no sense to ask the price for a long time, which is better, meaning staying or going. The main thing is to cross the border and then work it out. Kazakhstan and others are unlikely to block your exit, but the Russian Federation will. If you have not yet decided where and what to do next, you can go to Istanbul, Turkey. This is the largest hub, and from there, then, fly to almost any other country. Absolute chaos. Number 3, as you cross the border, you can think about further actions. They understandably depend on your finances, your skills, your network, and many related circumstances. And then finishing, this is the recommendation I can give to anyone who's thinking about leaving Russia. For more considerations, I'm not ready to put them in the public domain yet. If you're a subscriber, you can go here, but unlike all the other sealed texts, I will open this one as soon as I feel it's safe. For those who want to leave but do not know the situation on the ground, here is a list of Russian language Telegram chats in 105 countries of the world. You can read, and if something is not clear, clarify the details with those who are already there. And then there's a link. So that's what's happening in Russia. That's the terror that's on the ground. It's not just Ukraine. Russia's in this as well. Cousins fighting cousins. Captured Russian soldiers are being allowed to call home by the Ukrainian officials to say, "Hey, Mom, I'm in Ukraine." "What do you mean you're in Ukraine? Where are you?" "Yeah, I'm in Ukraine. They caught me." Madness. Now, we talked previously, if you're interested in helping Ukraine, you can send them Bitcoin or Ethereum. And here's some live updates from AP News. Ukraine gets $34 million in cryptocurrency donations. Wonderful. Latest donations. A firm that tracks cryptocurrency transactions says 34 million in the digital currency has been donated to Ukraine's government and non-governmental organizations since the start of Russia's invasion. That's nearly a third of it on Tuesday. Ukraine issued a plea for contributions on Twitter. To date, it's received 30,000 donations, including 5.8 million from Gavin Wood, the British programmer who co-founded Ethereum. There have been several other donations of more than $1 million. That's how you fight these authoritarians. You go decentralized finance, DeFi, and you don't worry about SWIFT, and you don't worry about banking, you just do it all in Bitcoin, and it cannot be stopped. Now this is unfortunate. Crypto exchange Coinbase, and not just Coinbase, but many others, Binance as well, stops short of a blanket ban on Russian accounts. So, if you're not going to do the whole thing, why do even a little bit of it? U.S. cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase will continue to block accounts and transactions of Russian clients targeted by sanctions, but it stopped short of banning all users from the country. At this time, we will not institute a blanket ban on all Coinbase transactions involving Russian addresses. Dora says, I can't believe that I may be witnessing the beginning of World War III. September 11, financial meltdown of 2008, a pandemic, and now this. It does feel like the world is spinning out of control. And in many ways it is. And a lot of it is income disparity. You have a whole bunch of people who don't have any money, and then you have the top 1% who have billions upon billions of dollars, and they don't care about us. And they've purchased all the politicians to lower their taxes and to get their way. And the rest of us can just suck air. And they tell us that directly to our faces. Just look at Joe Manchin. He doesn't care anything about poor people. And that's all he represents. Theoretically, his real representation is about big money. But the people in West Virginia, he couldn't care two S's about. And that'll be a problem, because if Putin tries to lay down some kind of nuke in Ukraine, that's going to be bad for Putin. That's going to be the end of the Putin. And as someone online said, look, the only way this is going to ever be resolved is for Putin to no longer be leading Russia. And this person said, by any means possible. And there's probably some truth to that, because he's going to have to be taken out, and it's not going to be by his people and by the Americans or anybody else. It's going to be the people who have money in Russia and who want their money. And because of Putin, they can't get it. So they will find a way to be rid of him. Especially if he drops a nuke and poisons all their land. And the rest of Europe better wake up. I mean, this is the kind of neighbor you want? And you let him get away with this for 20 years, so why should he stop now? Binance, the world's biggest crypto exchange, has also said it would not freeze all Russian accounts after Ukraine requested major crypto exchanges for a complete ban. Well, it needs to be all or nothing. You can't just ban some people and let all the bad criminals keep going. Western countries, including the United States and Britain, have imposed sweeping financial sanctions on Russia for invading Ukraine, with major Russian banks shut out of the SWIFT international payment system. But as we said previously, that's 3 banks. 3 banks out of 300. Or maybe it's 7. And here's another interesting thing about China. China's in on this in many ways, too, because they knew it was going to happen. They say Putin and Zhang have many 37 meetings since they've both been terrorizing their countries. And China said, hey, Russia, can you wait on your invasion of the Ukraine till after the Olympics? And obviously Russia said, sure, we'll wait a week or two, and then we'll go and we'll kill everybody. We'll kill all the children. We'll bomb the hospitals and the meeting places and the libraries and the orphanages. So this is what's going on with China, because they're in this with Russia because they're friends. An accidental social media post revealed how one Chinese outlet is towing the line while the world grapples with the mounting Russia-Ukraine conflict. Horizon News, a subject of Beijing News, which is owned by the Chinese Communist Party, posted instructions on how to cover the escalating tensions to its Weibo page on Tuesday. China has strengthened its alliance with Russia in recent years, and the two countries have also become increasingly active economic partners. Trade between China and Russia has grown from $10.7 billion in 2004 to $140 billion by 2021, according to the Carnegie Moscow Center think tank. So see, they're all in it together. And you know, if there's any problem in Russia with getting stuff, China's going to get it for them. Now, what we need to know about these SWIFT and economic sanctions, this is very interesting. What is SWIFT and how does it work? Some people don't know. SWIFT is a world-leading member-owned cooperative organization that provides secure financial messaging services for the execution of financial transactions and payments across borders of countries. Within the SWIFT network, the 11,000 member banks communicate with each other through a standard language, the SWIFT message. These SWIFT messages are used to initiate and execute transactions with unique bank identifiers called SWIFT codes. SWIFT handles about 10 billion messages a year. The vast majority of any individual or corporate international transaction settled among banks relies on the SWIFT messaging system. Is my laptop dying? Oh, it's almost going to die. 11% remaining. I'm plugging it in. Hold on. Wrong hole. Now, there's a dirty joke in there, but I was plugging it into the SD card slot and not the USB-C port. Keep trying, young man. Next time, look where you're going. What did the US and Europe do? Well, neither the United States nor the European Union controls SWIFT directly. This is what Alexei Guzzi's friend was saying. Look, SWIFT takes a long time to get going, but once this slam happens, it's not going to open up very fast. So get out! But each can exert influence on its governing body, and has done so in the past, in either cooperating or competing with each other. On February 26, the United States, the European Commission, and the UK announced a commitment to ensure that selected, there's the key phrase, selected Russian banks are removed from the SWIFT messaging system or have their access restricted to permitted transactions. It should be every Russian bank. That's the problem. While the details are not available at this time, it is likely the ban will be similar to one imposed by the United States earlier last week, which restricted U.S. financial institutions to transact with Russia's two largest state-owned banks, Sberbank Bank and VTB Bank, and other financial institutions. How painful would it be for Russia if the banks were shut out of SWIFT? Could Russia continue to conduct business? Well, banning a bank from SWIFT freezes, at least temporarily, its ability to transact with the rest of the world. It prevents the excluded bank from executing and setting its and its customers' obligations with foreigners, receiving payment or exports, or providing short-term credit for imports. This can paralyze the sectors of the economy engaged in international trade and finance. Russian citizens would also find traveling abroad much more cumbersome. Oh, now wait a minute. What happened? Okay, this is the best part. Russia's domestic payment system could also be disrupted to the extent that any transactions issued by the major credit card companies, Visa, here we go, MasterCard, American Express, all operate through SWIFT. However, Russia has already developed its own transaction system known as the System for Transfer of Financial Messages, SPFS, currently used only for domestic transactions. SPFS was created after the United States attempted to impose a similar ban on SWIFT following Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014. Even a selective ban on Russian banks would have a major immediate economic impact on the Russian economy and its business. So there you go. Alexei Guzzi's friend, Camille, says, get out while you can. They're going to shut it down. And while you can make a credit card payment in Russia, it can't be on the MasterCard network or the Visa network or the American Express network because they're all shut out of it. They're all part of SWIFT. So while it looks good, oh, no, we have our own banking system. But it's a banking system to Russia and Russia alone. And we now live in a global economy where people do not want to be isolated. They want to interact with the world. And now we're going to take our final blood pressure break of the day. Back in a moment. And we're back. I'm David Bowles. This is Bowles.tv, B-O-L-E-S, TV. Video on demand, Bowles.live, as well as on our Twitch channel, which is Bowles TV as the username. And we're here Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Jana Marie here tomorrow and has her own show on the weekends at 11 a.m. Eastern. And we certainly hope you will join us. Well, we've had a very interesting conversation today, all wrapped up in Ukraine, from Swift and banking and NFTs and fantasy and all kinds of fun things. I was getting ready to do a final story on the destruction of the family because of student loans, but it's too juicy to leave to the little bit of time we have left. So I'll start with that tomorrow. I hope. The world changes very quickly, hour to hour, minute to minute. So right now, what we're going to do is have a little bit of fun. Oh yes, it's that time again. It's not Bobby Fischer chess time! Just messed something up here. Oh my, everything's fine. Okay. Not Bobby Fischer chess. Exactly. Oh boy. So where's the thing? So we're going to Chessable. We played just terrible yesterday, but we're going to be inspired to do better today, because that's who we are and we're trying to become. If we hit the right button, we can be there. Okay, here we go. So this one is a 5 solver. I don't do well on these longer puzzles, but I'll try. White to play. They like a checkmate when they're teaching us this, so we have to look for lots and lots of trouble. Yeah. So we have rooks here, and our queen here. So we know those are the major players. Now, who goes where? Maybe this here to put the check on the king. Then the king takes, and then the queen gets involved. That's what it's looking like to me, but it doesn't ever mean anything, as we know already. And then we have that protection here, but they don't like a pre-move. They like something that is dramatic and not anticipatory. So we'll try this. Ooh, it was the right move. Now I gotta figure out the next move, because there are 4 more left. I've only made 1. Now, it's tempting to go here and put the Shazam on the old King-O. But that means that the queen will take. And then what? Then we're in trouble. Because then I lose my rook, and I need my rook, because the queen alone is not enough. To checkmate the king, so this is very difficult. For me, not for you, if you're a chess pro. So... I think the queen's got to move here to put the king in check. Aha! That was the right move. Oh my god, I can't believe it. I get so nervous when I play with you here because I do so much better when I'm offline, but it's not as fun because the pressure is greater here to do well. So now we have that. So do I want to go here and here and put the king in check? Well, then the queen will just take. But then I could take the queen back, which is very interesting. But is that enough? I could also just go here and put the king in check this way. Which is sort of interesting. And then the king would move here. Oh, I'm running out of time. I'll try the queen. Okay, now that wasn't terrible. When you get a move like that, it means that's a move that's acceptable, but it's not the one they want me to play. So I think it has to be this then. Because they love putting the king in check. The chess.com puzzles are not always interested in putting the king in check. They want you to find the best position, which is muddier and less clarified. So I'll try this and see if it works. Oh! So it was a queen move and not a rook move. So now they're going to force me to make this move, which is fine. And the reason it's okay is because this pawn protects my queen, so the king can't take it. That's what happened. Okay, I missed it. So now it's this, I'm sure. Which puts the king in check, and the king's going to move. And then we're going to move here, and that'll be it. That's my anticipation anyway, but we'll see. You never know. Okay, so the king moved that way, so I'm not moving this way because the king will take. So that means, very simply, I believe, that I go to Zingo. And that's the game. The perfect triangle. As Hikaru Nakamura might say, but probably would never say because he's a much better player than I am. So I think that's the right move. And then it's over, because the king can't go anywhere. The king is in check in every direction. So this will be a 75% puzzle. If they had allowed me to make the yellow move, it would have been a perfect puzzle. But I didn't see the pawn take. Thank you. 80% accuracy, 5 new moves. Not terrible. Better than yesterday. Yesterday was just really, really sad. Oh, so we have a 4 puzzle and then a 7 puzzle. And a 6. Oh, it's getting much difficult. Much more difficult. I'll try 4. Here we go. White to play. What do we have? Oh, it's all looking very scary now. Because they like immediate checks. So maybe here, and the king takes. And then the queen moves here, puts him in checko. Could be interesting. It could maybe be interesting. And slightly exciting. But you never know with these puzzles because I'm usually wrong, but we'll try it. Oh! I think my way was better. But what do I know? Okay, so they go that way and that way. I don't see what the difference is. So then I go here. Shazam. Put the king in checko, yeah? And then what? There are 2 more moves. I can't go here. Because the king will take. Maybe I go there and the king tries to take. I'm running out of time. But I don't think this could be a queen sacrifice. I just don't think so. I think it's got to be a bishop move. We'll see. Here we go. No. Yeah. Now, this is an interesting move because usually these puzzles don't do this. Because this is a predictive move. Nobody's in check when you move the queen from there to there. But this is a move that I would make in real life, but I know these puzzles don't like that because it's setting up the next move, which is then this to here. And then it's mate. But these puzzles have tended to like immediate danger. I prefer this, frankly, but I've never been given credit for it ever before. Well, now that's an interesting move. So the pawn moves up, and then when I move here, that doesn't do anything. That doesn't put the king in check. And I can't take, right? Because this pawn would just take. Oh, this is a harder puzzle than I thought. And these rooks are no good. The knight is no good. Nothing works. They usually like you to go backward. I'm running out of time. Well, I'm going to make a preemptive move. And I know they'll say I should take the pawn. Now, this is getting very different. This is getting that we've gone a different direction in these puzzles. And maybe we've now gone up. Because the king is not in check. It's coming with the next move. Here to here. But right now, at the end of the puzzle, there's nothing happening. And this is the explanation. Huh. Well, I like it. I did okay. So enough of that. Here's the chess puzzle a day at chess.com. March 3rd. The title is Marcosi's Candles. It sounds very transmissive. And this I can take a little more time on. Because there's no time limit. So this is white to move. And I have to try to get the king or find the best move. It's not always ending in a check or a checkmate, which is confusing. So to me, what I'm seeing, okay, so this is not doing anything. This queen is delightful. Oops. This queen is delightful, but not doing it. This bishop is helpful, but not doing anything. So my feeling is it's a knight move to here, and the queen will take. But then I will take the queen. So I don't know if the queen would take. If the queen doesn't take, then I grab the second bishop. That's the only move I can think of. We'll find out. That was not the right move. Well, I don't think it's a knight move because nothing else makes sense. So what could it be? Maybe it's a rook move. It was a rook move. Now, I don't know why that instead of my knight. But now the knight protects the rook. But see, if my knight were here, then I have this wonderful fork. But they wouldn't let it be a knight move. No Bob Seger for you, boy. Yikes. So now what do I do? Now, it's interesting if I move here. Because then I have another fork. I have this to here, taking the rook-o, or this to here, taking the queen-o. However, the king can take. But maybe that's what I want, because then my queen can go zingo and Shazam that. But then the king would just take the knight. Well, I think I'm going to try it. I'm just going to see if it'll let me do a fork. No. Oh! Because I can take the knight with my rook, but why? It's not. There's no reason. The rook could go there, but that's the queen would just take. Doesn't make any sense. Now, if I were playing by myself, if this didn't happen to be a puzzle, I would move my queen like here, and then put pressure on this bishop, and then I have these two babies working together. But that's not usually how these puzzles work. Now, I don't think it's a knight move, because if it's a knight move, it's either here or here, and they're both terrible. So I'm just going to play what I would normally play. I would play that. Oh my God! It's fabulous news, but it shows you I don't believe in myself, because I knew that was the move, but I said to myself, the puzzle won't allow me to make that move because nothing's happening. It's a pre-move to set something up, and puzzles don't like that. Well, this is the second puzzle we've done today on different systems where they want you to set something up. Well, okay then. I'll set it up. Now, what I would like to do is probably this. Queen to here. Check. Bang. Okay. Protected by the knight. So this is what will happen. Queen will take my queen. I take the queen. And then the king takes my knight. Terrible. Terrible. That's not it. I'm confusing myself with all these options. Okay, now come on now. Come on now. Running out of time. The clock is ticking against us. It can't be that difficult. Oh, I'm just gonna try it. Just go for it. See what happens. That's not the right move. Is this the right move? No. Okay. it's not a bishop move because it's stuck back here. And it's not a rook move because it's stuck. So it's got to be one of these moves. It's not a rook move because taking the knight, then what? That's no good. Doesn't do anything. Queen takes the knight. There's queen. Rook takes. Yeah, that doesn't give me anything. It's not a knight move this way. Okay, I need a hint. Okay, it's a rook move. Okay, so it's a rook move. Is it a rook move to take the knight? No. Is a rook move all the way down? No. Is a rook move just one up? Yes. Why? I don't know. Did they explain it to me? Not really. Because that takes, or that takes, or that takes. There are three pieces that attack that rook. But I guess I go here, right? And then it doesn't matter because the knight is there. And that's checkmate. Okay. So we live and learn, we do our best, and we try to continue on without getting too depressed. But sometimes you just can't. You just do the wrong thing. Oh, Doris said she was waiting for Biden to talk about it, but he didn't. Now, since I have been miserably looking, I don't know what that means. Talk about what about Biden? Talk about Ukraine? Oh, we don't know. We'll never know. I guess Dora has disappeared. So I thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you very much. You can find us on Twitter at David Bowles. Super follow, soon to follow. On Facebook, we're just regular old Big Fat Bowles. B-O-L-E-S. Instagram, we're Bowles Books. TikTok, Bowles TV. Twitch, Bowles TV. YouTube, Bowles Blues. And here's our Discord server if you're interested. So I hope you have a wonderful night, a great morning, and a wonderful nap if you're able to find one in your day. Until tomorrow, I wish you all the best, and may your soul find the joy it deserves. I'll see you tomorrow morning. 9 a.m. Eastern. Have a lovely